Good morning. Update from the revolution. It's not a revolution. It's a rebellion. It's a quiet rebellion. The way we do things here in Great Britain is like this. There are lots of people who live here, who were born here and have been raised here, who haven't been told what it is to be British. That the British values that we have held on these islands, and remember my brothers in Ireland, I'm talking to you, Great Britain, one country, and I'll hear nothing but one country as the solution to this. The global plan will be geographic zones. Geographic zones. They are the borders, okay, in terms of control, and the 600 model sitting above geographic regions, and that the 600 is made up of the population right now as it is of that geographic region, no matter what the size. What is appropriate? Now, Russia and Mr. Putin, you clearly have historical boundaries that have been set as your ancient princedoms that have been controlled by your princes. Now, I suspect that's the right model. The problem with Ukraine is that the border's in the wrong place. It's just an administrative border that was drawn there by the Communist Party, which is gone. And so it means nothing. So you need to establish a geographic boundary. Now, you sort it out. I don't know. I've read the history. It's fascinating. And that the river is so important. And that river must be a shared asset between Ukraine and Russia. Clearly, it's a mother river. So if you're looking at geographic borders, rivers are always going to be really important, so that the river belongs to both sides of the river. And what I insist that you do is that you both own the river, that there's an overlap. And so the issues with your 600s, your models, there'll be specific people you've assessed there to set, and you're looking at the constitution around your rivers, and you discuss the language that you need to use when you talk about your river. So, I mean, I don't know what you call it, but I know that there are Russian-named places in Ukraine that are really important for the last 1,000 years. In your history, they're mothers to you in your hearts, and they've got Russian names. Now, can you look at that naming of the thing and say, can you adjust the naming of the thing so that the Ukrainian-speaking population also feel the same kinship to the place as you do? Is it straightforward? Are there overlaps in the language, for example, where you say, well, what are we trying to say? What is this? If the city is your mother, then just use the word for mother in one of your languages that's the most beautiful, that flows, that just looks right, and that you can both say, yes, that's what it's called, and we'll define it and lodge it. And the idea then is that in your constitutions, if you get a piece of information that every single person and the centre agrees is correct, then that piece of information becomes cemented into your chairs, and that it can't be changed, ever. You just can't look at it. You're not allowed to look at that information. But the chairs are. The 600 are allowed to look at these assumptions in futures. You get me? So in the wider population, if a piece of information has been agreed and cemented below the chair, then they never have to think about it again. That's what it's called, forever. Yep. Or that's that thing, that system, that process, whatever it is lodged, cemented into the society because it's a good idea. And so it's never changed. And that the population don't have to think about it. Now, if somebody comes up with a good idea that possibly may have an impact on a cemented foundation of any geographic region, there is a process in place where the information gets to the 600s, it's filtered through, and then the 600 discuss it, and they say, look, here's an idea. Do we want to reopen a cemented foundation because of this piece of information we've now got? And you'd say yes, we do, because you need to check. If you've got any doubt, if doubt arises, you must check the cemented foundation. So you go, okay, let's look, and you decide. You decide what to do. The 600 must agree. But the centre must hold, yeah? Mere anarchy cannot be loose. The centre must hold. Every 600 has a centre. And that centre must be the same centre. It must replicate reality. If you imagine that we're trying to build a model of a population and a population control with nothing in between, no politicians at all, no elections, nothing. It's all about education and smartness and proving smartness and people challenging for smartness. It's all challenging each other to be intelligent as possible. And the whole system is set up for you to do that. It's a game. It's brilliant. It's called life. You're going to enjoy it. It's peaceful. Nobody has to suffer anymore. But what I'm proposing is that at the centre, at the 0 point energy, we go to the 600, which is the UN model, which is where we'll start from. So we'll build the model at the UN, and the goal of the 600 is to dismantle the United Nations, just dismantle the entire thing, but while holding control of the bottom end. So what that will mean is that the council, parish council particularly, or community level, must control themselves, so that we at the top at the UN can trust that you're just doing what you're told. Yeah, this is entirely going to be a self-policed planet based on excellence and understanding what excellence means. And that's it. And there's no excuse for no excellence. It's just no excuse for it, because the opposite to excellence is being a stupid cunt. And I use that word once and once alone in that context, because it also means narcissist. And so we can control human nature. I've had so many arguments over the last 10 years with people. Oh, it's human nature. Ah, fuck it. Yeah? Ah, fuck it. I'm sick of it. Even now, I sit here offering a path to glory that people could just choose to do. If everyone in this country turned and listened to this video and said, can we really do that? Do we have permission to do that? And if you need permission, yes, you have permission. I give you permission as the Prince of Wales, Prince of Great Britain, first Prince of Free State of Fun and Sarth. I'm the rebel king. I cannot be pushed off my throne apart from killed. And they can kill me, they're welcome to. I don't mind. I welcome it. If my death is met in such a glorious way, my energy will exist forever. I'll become a legend. I've already become a legend in my own mind. It's been fantastic. You need to look at the video about Be Your Own Hero, and then look at my trajectory and my story and what I've achieved for myself. I've achieved destiny. And you need to look at the miracle of the thesis of everything in the context of all of this information to understand what that thesis that I wrote in 2008 represents as the springboard for a man to achieve destiny. One man. And it's me, okay? Just fucking deal with it, because it's going to be brilliant. I just claim captaincy of the ship. Here's the story. Captain's been fucking thrown overboard. There was a mutiny, yeah? It was about sex and shit. See, these are the ones I just fucking talking. But I absolutely mean it.